Hello, welcome to the Minnesota State Electrical Vehicle Rebate Program. You can get here by going to mn.gov/EV Rebate. That's the website for this, and we'll walk through the process now. We are starting to accept applications on February 7th, 2024 at 10 a.m. For individuals to get an EV rebate. Here's what you need for your EV rebate. You need a current driver's license, an electric utility bill at the time of EV purchase. For renters who do not have an electric utility bill, submit your renter's lease at the time of EV purchase. We also need a purchase agreement or lease. You want these three documents collected when you're ready to do the application, because this isn't you go into the application, save your stuff, and come back. You have to do it at one sitting. So get these documents ahead of time and then be prepared. Then you're prepared to go ahead and submit your application. How much can you get? New electric vehicles can get a rebate up to $2,500, and used electric vehicle rebates are up to $600. To qualify, your vehicle can be new or used. It has to be an electric or plug-in hybrid. It had to be purchased or leased on or after May 25th, 2023. It has to be titled in Minnesota. And again, new vehicles have to have an MSRP of $55,000 or less, excluding taxes and fees, and used vehicles have to have a purchase price of $25,000 or less, excluding taxes and fees. So we'll go ahead and we will go into we click on the button there, and this will take us to the landing page for the application. Again, this is information about how much money you can get, how you qualify for it, the documents that you have to have, and then also there will be a running total up here, how much money is available and how much is been parsed out to individuals for their applications and how much is left. So you can see what the amounts are. So you click on the Apply Here button, and this will take you into the first page of the application. Here's some optional demographic information. We're just trying to find out some information about who's benefiting from this program. If you don't want to fill any of this out, or you want to just skip one of the fields, feel free. None of these are required. They're strictly optional. It's at your discretion. So the next page, again, we want to make sure you have your three documents before you sit down to do this, because you can't save your work. Once you do it, you submit it, and then you're done, but you can't save it and come back to it. And that's important because this is a first come, first serve rebate process. So first one's in, they'll be the first considered. And once the money's gone, it's gone. So you want to make sure you can complete your application when you get in. You don't want to have to come back to it if you can avoid it. So again, you need current driver's license, electric utility bill for your residence at time of purchase, and a purchase agreement or lease. Now, if you don't have either one, you can have other documentation proving that you purchased the EV and the purchase price. One thing about the electric utility bill, if you're renting, you can provide your lease agreement as well. We can use that also. So that is for renters. If you're an entity or business, you obviously wouldn't have a driver's license, so you don't need to provide that. So we want to make sure you do that. So you click yes, I understand that. And so now you decide who's getting the rebate. Is it an individual like myself, or would a car dealer be doing this for a buyer? They would select dealer. And if it's an entity, the City of Isle or the United Way, they would click Unite entity. So I'm going to do individual for me. Was it new or used? So you've got used, and then you'll tell us if it's a dealer or private party. We'll do if it's new. So it's new. Was it leased? If it's leased, we need to know the number of months, because to qualify, the lease has to be at least 24 months. If it's not, it will be rejected. So we ask for the lease. Again, make sure you put it in months. So let's do the name of the dealership. We need this information. So we'll put dealer A. Dealer A. And so we're going to go through this information for the address, and the dealer number is not required. If you've got it, please provide it, but if not, it's not required. And you can see here there are asterisks next to the fields that are required, and you can see these do not have that. So we'll do Paul Jones, because we need to know who the buyer is. Is your driver's license current? You have to have a current driver's license. If you don't, then you don't qualify. So driver's license number, we'll put that in. This is very important because we're going to use this for validation against the title. So we're going to ask you to put it in twice, so we make sure we get this right. You can see if it doesn't match, we're going to tell you it doesn't match. And if you try to move on, you'll be brought back to this page and said, you need to make these match. So very important number for us. We'll have this for a couple of other fields as well. Were you a resident of Minnesota or an entity doing business in Minnesota at time of purchase? That is a qualification. If you weren't a resident when you purchased the car or weren't doing business, then you will not qualify for the rebate. So we'll answer yes. Did you move since you purchased the car? If you did, then we've got an extra block. What was your previous address? We need that to match to title information. And if you didn't move, then you won't see that extra block down here. So we're going to put our address in. We live in the United States. We'll do 5210. Let's do a Minneapolis address. Minneapolis. It's hard to type when everybody's watching you. I'm sure you've all experienced that. Minnesota 55410. And so we've got some additional information here. Phone number 2999999. We need that just in case there's anything. And this is the key. Just making up some names here. Again, you want to make sure these two match because this is how we will contact you to tell you you've qualified for the rebate or we have problems with your application. This is going to be the key. That's why we ask you to enter it twice. You have to get this, and this will be our method of contact with you. So we'll hit next. Was there anything we left off that page? No, we got everything on there. So now we fill out information about the vehicle. Is the vehicle registered in Minnesota? Has to be registered here. If it's not, we'll qualify for the rebate. So VIN number. So we'll be using this VIN to make sure we, again, can match the title information that's held by the Department of Public Safety. So again, we need to make sure these match. And you can see if they don't, we get a warning message not matching. If for some reason you put both in and you go to the next page, you'll be brought back here and said these two numbers do need to match. Odometer, we want to know how many miles were on the car when it was purchased. Battery, this is optional, no asterisk. You can do it, so it'd be a battery or a plug-in HV. We'll do a plug-in HV. Vehicle make, well, we'll pull up a Tesla and we'll pick a Model 3 and we'll say the year was 2023. Now, finding the MSRP, this is key because again, as we indicated earlier, MSRP for a new car has to be $55,000 or less. So how do we find out what the MSRP? So if you click on this and you have a Tesla, you can see here that Tesla, the MSRP for this program is determined by adding two items on the Monroney sticker here. It's the model you have, and then it's the trim level. Right here, Model 3 rear-wheel drive, that's the trim, and it explains it right out here. So the MSRP for this car is the sum of these two, which would be $40,420. And that's the number you want to put in here. MSRP does not include taxes, destination, or options. It's the sum of those two for this car. Now, if you were buying a Maserati, let's just say that, this is an example sticker from a non-Tesla car, and this is Chevrolet Bolt. There's a place on the sticker that has standard vehicle price, manufacturer's suggested retail price. It'll spell it out there. It should be on there, and that's the number you want, not the total vehicle price, but the MSRP. And again, the sticker should state manufacturer's suggested retail price and have that there. So that's what you want to look for, non-Tesla. Tesla, if you have, you add up those two items that I had indicated earlier. And how you get to see those is clicking on this box. So our price is in there. When did we purchase it? Has to be today or earlier. If you pick a later date, you're going to get rejected. So it can't be, I'm going to buy this in a month, so I'll just put this application in now. The purchase date has to be, you have to have purchased or leased the car. Has it been modified from original manufacturer specifications? No. If it has, for some reason, you don't qualify. That's spelled out. You won't qualify for the rebate. Files to be uploaded. We've got 3 files here that we discussed earlier: buyer's driver's license, purchase agreement, an electric utility bill for your residence at time of EV purchase, or for number 3, if you're a renter, we need your lease. A lease agreement will suffice if you don't have a utility bill. And again, this is at time of EV purchase because you had to be a resident at the time of purchase, and that where you live, what utility you have, that'll determine where the funds come from. So we're going to upload the funds here. And so you want to do all three at the same time. So you select one, hold your shift key down, second one, and third one. You do all at once. If you do them one at a time, you're just going to keep doing it and doing it, not till you get three loaded. You have to load all three simultaneously. That's critical. So we hit yes, and the pop-up comes, tells us if they've been loaded or not. Check mark, yes, check mark, and then down here, 3 of 3 files loaded, success. You have to load 3 at the same time, and it says right here that as well. Says that as well. So we're going to pick our utility out here too. Again, we've uploaded the utility bill here, but we're also going to tell the utility here. Excel's at the top. A lot of us have Excel as our utility, but we have an additional roughly 180 utilities here. Your utility should be in here. This is a list of all utilities in Minnesota. Select the utility you've got, okay? Over here, you're going to attest to, is the information I provided accurate? Yes. And I have not, so I'm an individual, I have not previously received a rebate or tax credit for the purchase or lease of the electric vehicle in Minnesota. You only get one, a person cannot get more than one. If I bought 2 cars, one in June and one in August, I only qualify for 1 rebate. I can't get multiple rebates. There's also a vendor ID over here box. You can ignore that. That's not a required field. If you have one, put it in, but otherwise don't worry about that field. You do not have to include that information. That's not required right now. So type my name in, Paul, we'll say Jones, and then we'll go next. What I want to do actually is I'm going to put the VIN number does not match. I just want to show you this is what's going to happen if things don't match. Let's close that. See, it kept me on the page and said, hey, this doesn't match. So I can't move forward without this matching. So I'm going to make it match. And it highlighted the field too. So you can see what, oh, got another one. I did not pick the model. Oh, there we go. So I missed that. So you see how it brings you back and you have to fill out those fields. Again, it's got an asterisk, so it's a required field. Let's try one more time. Okay, here's our Tennyson warning about collection of private data. You've got to acknowledge that and say, you're not a robot. I'm not a robot. I didn't have to do the CAPTCHA because I've been doing this all day, but so I'm not a robot, comes here and success. Your application has now been submitted. An email has been sent to the email address that you provided, which is listed right here, so we can contact you. And in that email, it'll have the application number, which will be EV565, and it will also have the make, model, and year of the car as well. And that is how you supply, that's how you submit an electric vehicle rebate for the Minnesota Electric Vehicle Rebate Program. And again, to go to, it's mn.gov/EV Rebate to get to the page. Thank you very much.